Have you ever looked at someone with a huge salary and just assumed they were wealthy? It seems like it should be that simple, right? Well, it turns out that a high income doesn't automatically mean you're building real wealth. It's a weirdly common trap, so let's get into it and figure out what's really going on.
Okay, so just imagine this for a second. Your neighbor, he lands this amazing new job. We're talking 6 figures, the whole shebang. And sure enough, a couple weeks go by, and this beautiful, brand new, silent Tesla just glides into their driveway. You can't help but think, wow, they have totally made it. I mean, that's the dream, right? That's what success looks like.
But then, fast forward 3 months, there's a knock at your door. It's the same neighbor, kind of shuffling his feet, asking if he can borrow your lawnmower. Says his broke down, and he just can't swing the repair bill right now. So, what gives? What is happening here? It's this huge disconnect between looking rich and actually being rich. And that is exactly what we're going to unpack.
Look, that story about the neighbor, that's not some weird, isolated incident. Nope. It's actually a classic symptom of something called the high-income illusion. It's this trap we all fall into, this belief that a bigger paycheck is like a magic wand that's going to solve all our money problems.
And this isn't just a feeling, we've got the data to back it up. A recent study found that 52%, yeah, you heard that right, more than half of people earning between 100 and 150 grand a year are still living paycheck to paycheck. A high income can feel like freedom, but if you're not careful, it just becomes a much nicer, much more expensive cage.
All right, so if a giant salary isn't the golden ticket, then what is? Well, the answer is actually incredibly simple, and it all boils down to one really powerful idea. It's all about finding and then growing what we call your gap. This right here, this is the most important number in your entire financial life. I'm serious. It's not your salary. It's not even your net worth yet. It's the space between what you bring in and what goes out. Think of it like your own personal profit margin. This gap is the raw material you use to build actual, lasting wealth. And this just makes it crystal clear. Let's look at a tale of 2 gaps. You've got person A, earns 50K, pretty modest, but they've got a 10K gap at the end of the year. Then you've got person B, crushing it, earning 200K, but they've got a $0 gap. So who's actually getting wealthier? It's person A, and it's not even close. The person with the smaller income but a real gap is the one making progress. Your income is just a number if your gap is 0.
So why is creating a gap so tough? Well, we're all fighting against a formidable enemy, Parkinson's law. Basically, it's this natural human tendency for our spending to magically expand to eat up every single dollar we have. And listen, this is not some personal failing or a lack of willpower. It's like a law of financial gravity that you have to consciously, intentionally fight against.
But here's the good news. You absolutely can fight back. And the game plan is beautifully simple. You fight Parkinson's law on 2 fronts. We call it defense and offense. This is how you're going to widen that gap and take control.
It's pretty straightforward, right? Playing defense is all about strategically lowering your spending, and playing offense is about actively increasing your income. You really need both to win the game in the long run, but where you start makes a big difference. So let's talk defense first.
Now, when you're on defense, please don't sweat the small stuff. Forget about the daily lattes for a minute. You want to focus your energy on the big 3, because this is where almost all our money goes: housing, transportation, and food. A tiny optimization here has a gigantic impact. I mean, shaving just 10% off your rent by getting a roommate is way more powerful than a lifetime of skipping coffee.
Just take transportation. This number is going to blow your mind. The average person can spend up to $600,000 on cars over their lifetime. Just let that sink in for a second. $600,000. That's a huge pile of money that could be building your wealth. Just deciding to buy a reliable used car instead of a new one, or maybe even going down to 1 car, that one decision can literally change your financial destiny.
Okay, now for the fun part, offense. One of the most powerful moves you can make here is something I call the invisible raise. Here's how it works. Any new money that comes your way, a raise at work, a surprise bonus, income from a side hustle, it never even touches your checking account. You set it up to go directly into your investments. You basically trick yourself. You never get used to having that extra cash so you don't miss it, and your wealth building kicks into absolute overdrive. And remember, offense isn't just waiting for a bonus. It's actively creating new income, like negotiating for a higher salary or starting that side project you've been thinking about.
So, knowing all this is one thing, right? But actually doing it, that's another story. Because the biggest fight isn't with our budget or our spreadsheets. It's inside our own heads. We have to understand the mental traps that are designed to keep us broke.
And there are two big ones. First up is the reward fallacy. You know this one. You work hard, you get a promotion, and you immediately think, I deserve this. I deserve a nicer car, a bigger apartment. But that reward is a Trojan horse. It sneakily resets your whole spending level and locks you into higher expenses forever. The other trap? The invisible race. It's that constant pressure to look wealthy on social media instead of quietly, patiently being wealthy in your brokerage account.
But here's the payoff. If you can master your gap, if you can dodge these psychological landmines, what you get in return is absolutely massive. This isn't just about piling up money. It's about earning your freedom.
Here's why this matters so much. Your annual spending directly dictates your freedom date. A good rule of thumb is you need about 25 times your yearly expenses to be financially independent. So look at this. A teacher living a great life on $35,000 a year needs about $875,000 to be free. But a doctor who gets used to a lifestyle that costs $280,000 a year needs a jaw-dropping $7 million. See how that works? As your spending balloons, your target for freedom gets pushed further and further and further away.
And here's the absolute kicker. Even with that huge difference in income, the teacher who controls their spending often reaches financial independence years, sometimes even decades, before the doctor. It's the ultimate proof that how much you keep is so much more powerful than how much you make.
Okay, that was a lot of theory. It's great to know, but let's make this real. I want to leave you with a concrete, actionable challenge that you can literally start today to begin widening your own gap. It's a super simple 3-step plan. Step 1, do the math. Sit down and figure out what your gap is right now, today. Be honest with yourself. Step 2, pick one lever. Just one. You're either going to focus on cutting your spending, that's defense, or you're going to focus on earning more, that's offense. And step 3, for the next 90 days, you pull that one lever as hard as you possibly can. See what happens.
So let's just land the plane on this one idea. Everything we've talked about today really just boils down to a simple but profound shift in how you think about money. True wealth has nothing to do with the size of your paycheck. It has everything to do with the size of your gap. It's never about what you earn, it's always about what you keep. So the only real question left is, what will you choose to keep?